of recording this, it's a day after Christmas. If any videos come out since the 5 days that we have had apart from it, then, well, okay.
Ow, Charlie!
There have been some brutal own goals over the years, no doubt about it. So I'm not going to go as far to say that this was the worst I've ever seen, but I can say I've never seen a hat trick quite like this. And while Lindgren scored a goalie goal on himself last night, we were robbed of what could have actually been the greatest goalie goal of all time. Last night, as the Caps and Bolts faced off in Tampa, Point, who got not just the opening goal, scoring not 4 minutes in with a beautiful finish for his 13th. After Radish got called for slashing, it was Hedman to Kucherov for Point, and he'd score again. A beautiful slap pass from Kuch to find Point for his second of the night. So he was officially on Hattie watch, although he'd have to wait, as over in the second, after a delayed penalty in front here, the Caps get the extra man, and they would find the back of the net. Mangiapane in front gets a piece of it as they cut the lead in half. And despite immediately taking a high sticking penalty, Strome catching Hedman, it was the Capitals breaking out. Protas keeps it, and he scores. Beats Vasilevsky short side for his 8th of the year, and we had a tied hockey game. That was until the final minute. A battle in the back, and before you know it, Tampa scores again. Lindgren going to his left as Isamont on the right as they would take back the lead. A brutal late period goal to give up, but heading into the third, the Capitals coming out with a vengeance. Here another odd man rush, and there it is. Protas for Strome, and for a second time, they tie this game up. On the other end, it was Lindgren making some great stops, especially this one, as Gensel all alone was shut down by Charlie. And then it happened. Lindgren out to play it as he puts it right in his own net. Dead center, I mean, come on.
Ow, Charlie! Ow!
The coach can't believe it. This guy can't believe it, and Lindgren says to hell with this puck as he flips it into the crowd. Just pure pain, but here's the crazy part. This was almost Vasilevsky's goalie goal. He was the last to play it until it just got a piece of Point here. Otherwise, this puck doesn't get touched by a Tampa player again. Can you even imagine if this was a goalie goal? I feel somehow robbed, but regardless, it's still a hat trick that I can't say I've ever seen anything quite like, so just a wild sequence all around. What was good to see was how his team stood by him, as it's the response that matters, and what a pro, because immediately after he was tested, Kucherov all alone is shut down by Charlie. Probably the last guy you want in this spot. And shortly after that, it's John Carlson with space, comes down, rips it to score. They give him room, and he takes it to beat Vasi blocker side and tie this game for the third time. Just a great response from Washington as they were suddenly firing on all cylinders. Tampa pushing back though, and there's a penalty. This is a no goal because Strome got one right in the chicklets. Cirelli fighting for it, catches him high, and the Capitals, in a huge swing of events, were suddenly on a 4-minute power play. They go to work. Chychrun from the blue line, and they score. It's Tom Wilson with the redirect in front for his 7th, and the Capitals would take the lead for the first time. You could almost hear the sigh of relief from Lindgren. So with 3 to go and 2 of it shorthanded, while the Lightning gave it a go, Charlie wasn't going to let in another as he and the Capitals would come back from 2-0, their 8th comeback of the year, and overcome a brutal own goal in the process to take this one on the road. And check this out.
Hell of a job sticking with it. This guy first NHL talk tonight. Way to stick with it. That's a tough situation.
But that's about it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you in the next one.
I don't know if you can see that, but the one on the left says, it's supposed to say my suggestions, but
yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that even mean?
Coming in to last night's Devils-Rangers matchup, Jack Hughes had the second most goals of any active player against Igor Shesterkin, with 7. Sam Bennett has 8. But after what was an absolute shit kick,
2 more to beat him.
Mercer moves in and scores. 2-on-0, just simply misses the puck. He scores! Rebound, score! He and Hughes scores!
He picked up 2 more and now has 9, the most goals against Igor of anyone. But yet, what everyone's talking about today is Steve Valiquette. See, the Rangers came out bad right from the get-go. Odd man rush immediately out the gate. Then another, it's Brad.
You know, if you look back to like the 2022 to 2023 season, and you look at a certain team, the New Jersey Devils, and you look back on them and you're like, well, they've never been a good team. Back then, they were like really good. And then they came into the 2023-2024 season wanting to have like a similar season and similar playoffs, because they did really good in the playoffs back then. But instead, they returned to their old ways, like 2019, 2020, or 2021, 2021, 2020, 2021, or 2021, 2022 season or playoffs.
Who kept it and scored.
And it's kind of refreshing, kind of some newer people to hockey who just joined like this season or last season, they probably don't know that. And so
5 hole for his 12th, as it didn't take long. Here, another 3-on-2 that didn't materialize. The Rangers were a mess. Then it was Mercer going right, shooting left, and he scored. The no-look shot beats Shesterkin with the second goal on 4 shots. The Rangers' response? Immediately giving up a breakaway as it's Hughes shut down. But aren't you offended by this effort? A Forsberg attempt? Well, that brings us back to Steve Valiquette, who certainly was.
Hughes set out to embarrass Shesterkin there, and that's blatant disrespect.
What? Are you supposed to not embarrass a goalie scoring on them?
It was more Instagram hockey than intense hockey. The Rangers should be upset about that.
All right, so I get what he's trying to say. The Rangers don't have...
oh my god, he just embarrassed him. Like, this is disgraceful. We should arrest him.
enough pushback right now, and he wants to see that. But this is not the example I'd use. To imply that Hughes was more...
I would say that I do indeed disagree with the wording, as I think it could have been worded better, but to say a certain thing like this, it's just outright bananas. Crazy.
So trying to show off then score is insane. It's only the first period. He's just a skilled player trying to make a skilled move. But the craziest comment was this.
That would never happen in a game. When was the last time you saw somebody Forsberg move? Right. In a game.
I don't know. But what I do know is that it wasn't 2 years ago that Tarasenko did it in the same building wearing a Rangers sweater. Again, I get what he's trying to imply, and I actually don't dislike Valley, but this was a rough take. And again...
He words. That guy. The announcer person, I don't really know who he is. I don't know his work. But the way that he worded it and the way that he made it sound, it doesn't sound good. It sounds bad, very bad. So, when I listen to stuff like that, I'm like, oh, what'd he just say?
After Hamilton would make it 3 unanswered midway through the game, it was Jack Hughes who scored not just his 10th of the year, but his league-tying 8th against Igor. He would go on to score his 2nd of the game and therefore his 9th, officially more than any other active NHL player.
He owns New York. His 9th goal against Shesterkin.
But the Devils played a great game all around. They were blocking shots like madmen, 27 blocked shots. Markstrom had a great game, making 39 saves on 40 shots, as there was even a Devils chant that broke out in MSG.
Stayed here, and another Let's Go Devils chant cranking up at Madison Square Garden.
With time eventually expired, the Devils would take it on the road and give the Rangers their 6th loss in 7 games. But maybe my favorite part of the night came when Jack was asked about Steve's comments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that even mean? Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
This guy is a quote machine. But yeah,
That's how I reacted to how. Oh, hold on, I gotta clip that.
Situation down below. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see
I'll remix it.
you in the next one.
Alrighty, see you then.
Over the
Two
years,
more
we have
after this.
certainly seen Torts completely lose his cool on many occasions. I mean, just last season, he got ejected
Occasions?
and flat out
It's occasions with the yes. The O sounds like an A. And to all those people who are fighting with me on this occasion, please stop. Please.
refused to leave while wearing a cast, which was great. But tonight, as the Flyers played in Detroit, we saw officiating so bad. I mean, I can honestly say I've never seen anything quite like this. And Torts was absolutely livid. Now, let's quickly do a recap. While the Flyers came
No
out and got on the
surprise,
board
that
first,
guy's
they were
the
not
Philadelphia
the better team for much of
Flyers
this game,
coach.
and that lead was erased with a late period power play goal by Comfort. Over in the second, after Frost gave one away here, it would lead to a 3-on-1 where they capitalized as Detroit would take the lead. However, the Flyers were able to fight right back and square it up immediately, as this was a very back and forth game, because while the Red Wings would score 2 back-to-back late in the second to take a 4-2 lead heading into the third, the Flyers, again, able to fight back, came out, and they now scored back-to-back. This one, a beauty from Tippett to square this baby right back up. But a bad line change from the Flyers, and it was showtime. Kane taking back the lead for a third time would make it a 5-4 game, which gets us to this.
Penalty coming up against the Red Wings. Oh, the arm went down.
All right, take a look. The ref here, Michael Markovic, clearly puts his arm up, even though there aren't 6 Red Wings players. But still, seeing it, Konechny comes out, and now there's clearly 6 guys on the ice, but for the Flyers.
Too many men here. Too many men for Philadelphia.
So the Flyers have too many men. They have possession of the puck, and yet nothing gets called. The Red Wings would then get possession, come back the other way, and suddenly there is now a penalty. And it is too many men for the Flyers. And Torts was incensed. You put your fucking hand up. Yes, you did. Hathaway's like, is this even real life right now? You had your fucking hand up. No one understood what the hell was going on. The officials would huddle up to try and figure it out.
Hey guys, you got this penalty, what's going on? Is there some rule in the NHL rulebook that I don't know about? Yeah, it's called the shut the heck up clause.
Themselves, you put your arm down, and screaming from across the ice, he had his fucking hand up. Now, I'm not saying he was break the door down in Calgary,
put
man,
our
but Tortorella
hands
was
up
pissed,
to
and for
make the
good reason, because again, Markovic did put his arm up, and then just decided,
Flyers.
never mind. And
Coach
so, after debating it for a
angry.
little while,
There's no penalty on the play.
I mean, what? That's it? And by the way, is that for this penalty or was it for this penalty? Well, apparently both, as he then tried to deny it to Tortorella, who's like, are you even serious right now? You had it up here. It's on video. For f***'s sake, it's right there on f***ing video. Markovic, I don't know what he's possibly saying,
I
but
think he
just
was
an
just
insane
doing
sequence. And
the
by the way,
song
they mentioned this in the
YMCA,
broadcast
you
too, but
know?
imagine if Detroit would have scored here. What the
YMCA.
hell would they have possibly done then? But I will say, at least they didn't actually penalize the Flyers for too many men, so they made that right. And so as play started back up, it was just 12 seconds later, and there was another call, this time hooking on Kane, and yeah, Paling just completely toe-picked and went down himself. Obviously, a makeup call in what was a masterpiece of officiating. Anyway, on that power play, the Flyers would not be able to take advantage as the Red Wings would kill it off, and so with under 2 to go, the Flyers would call timeout, pull Eriksson, leaving them with 6 guys on the ice, and while they'd pressure, Sanheim just coughing it up here would lead to the Red Wings
The
going
Earl
the other
Warren
way, and
Supreme
Raymond
Court
would extend it to 2
controversy.
goals. Just about putting the cap on it, and sure enough, as time would expire, the Wings would take the dub 6-4 at home, their third in 4 games. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this whole ordeal. And yeah, that'll be about it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you in the next one.
The most affordable 12-month GLP-1 program with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy. For one payment upfront, 12 months of weight loss by...
Earl Warren, well, he was a Republican, and Hubert Humphrey and everyone else, like
Murphy's
Lyndon
Law
Johnson
should just read Buffalo Sabres, because while it's been rough going for the
was a
Sabres
Democrat,
with
so it's
11
really
losses in a
interesting
row,
Earl Warren would
I'm
do
almost
something
lost for
like
words. This is the toughest solve I've been around, but it is on me to get these guys in the right place and win a hockey game.
tonight's game against Toronto brought their pain to a whole new level. I mean, I don't even know if I've ever seen this happen before. You see, they gave up an immediate odd man rush. Domi finds McMahon, who would score on the very first shot of the game. Not 90 seconds into the game, and it was 1-0. But it's early, and sure enough, the Sabres would come right back. Zucker finds Tucker in front, and they'd score to square this baby up, and I figured, there you go, way to answer. Not so quick. See, it's not goalie interference. It wasn't even offside. But on the entry right here, there was a high stick infraction by Zucker, which the ref, Sutherland over here, clearly missed. The play continued, and despite this being called a good goal initially, the linesman informed the ref of the high stick after the matter, and so it got called back. Now, you may be wondering, how's this even possible? They missed the call. Play continued. You can't just call it back after the fact, right? Well, Rule 32, specifically 32.4, states the linesman must stop play immediately and report to the referees when it is apparent that an injury has resulted from a high stick that has gone undetected. Okay, stop play when it's apparent an injury has resulted. In this case, I have to think the linesman saw the infraction, noted it, but did not see the blood, and therefore waited for the next stoppage to inform the ref. It just so happened that the next stoppage came as a result of a goal. Well, if we read a little more, should a linesman witness a foul prior to the attacking team scoring a goal, the linesman shall report what he witnessed to the referee. The goal shall be disallowed and the appropriate penalty assessed. So, as unfortunate as this was for the Sabres, from my understanding, the officials got this completely right. So, rather than it being 1-1, it was now 1-0, and they had a double minor, where, sure enough, while they were able to kill the first one off, they couldn't contain him, as Matthews would eventually score his 11th from Nylander to make it 2-0. I mean, you just almost can't make it up. But this wasn't even the only goal that'd be called back on the Sabres tonight. First, though, it wasn't 2 minutes into the second, and the Leafs would score again. It's Robertson this time to make it 3-0. And while Peterka would finally get the Sabres on the board, for real this time, as this one did count, it was immediately answered with McMahon finding Domi, quick release, who would score his third, and that would be about it for UPL as he'd get the yank. Lindy trying his best to rally the troops, but But a bad line change gives Toronto space. It's Nylander again, and they score again. He finds Pacioretty to make it 5-1. Just a simply defeated group of men right now. Having said that, this is where things started to change. It was 5 minutes later, and the Sabres would score. Samuelsson picks the corner and cuts the lead to 3. A large mountain to climb heading into the third, but past the midway point of the period, Samuelsson throws it in front, and they'd score again. This one somehow gets to Owen Power, who makes it real interesting as it was now just a 2-goal game. With under 4 to go, it's Power from the blue line, and he'd score again. He beats Murray high blocker side, and we had ourselves a 1-goal game. Wait, no. The Maple Leafs challenge it. While it seemed that maybe as for the entry here, it was kind of close, it was actually Lafferty right there interfering with Murray, and just unreal. Again, what can go wrong is going wrong for these guys. It gets called back, and what could have been a 5-5 game was now 5-3. Anyway, with 2 to go, they pull Reimer, and they threw a few on net, but ultimately Pacioretty would put I guess not, as he misses this one, but they break out again. This time it's Nylander, and he would not miss, as that would about seal it, and as time
What
expired,
would have been
the
funny
Leafs
if
and
he
Murray would
also
take it.
missed?
As for the
That would have
Sabres,
been
they have
funny.
now lost 12 in
Just
a
like,
row. That's more than they have wins on the
I'm gonna shoot it another
season.
time. I hope
feel
it doesn't
for
ma-
you,
Oh,
Sabres
wait, it
fans.
missed.
I really do. But that's
Oh,
about it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you in the next one.
I think by the time maybe the next video when we use a camera, like to see me, it's gonna look
It may be the holiday season, but things aren't all that cheerful for everyone. With another week of interesting calls,
There's no penalty on the play.
huge hits, and patented Buffalo Sabres hockey, it's hard not to think I do have a lot to be thankful for.
I'd rather be in this position than Buffalo, so.
Whether it was incredible goals, some hilarious moments, or just great sound bites, always watching.
Oh, Jesus, got a face for radio right there.
That's a crazy duster. He's got a lot of luggage on that lip.
Oh my God. Next question.
There is plenty to cover, so let's get to it. Now, the theme this week seemed to be busted up faces, and more proof that hockey players are as tough as they come. Starting with Hyman in Edmonton, who caught a booch bomb up high as, ouch, he was leaking heavily, and to start the third, he's out there anyway, rocking the bubble, and thanks to Sportsnet, we get to see what he was seeing. But it hasn't slowed him down. If anything, Hyman is stronger than ever with goals in 6.
The affirmation drop is here. It comes in 4 beautiful colors, and let me tell you, I'm obsessed. Not only is this the first collection to have the straight leg sweatpants, which everybody's going nuts for, it's the first collection to have 3 matching pieces.
Hyman is stronger than ever with goals in 6 straight.
It feels okay. Broken nose. Feel good?
Well, bud, you don't look good. Down the road in Calgary, it was Sens captain Kachuk who caught a stick up high as he was leaking and needed repairs, but surprise, surprise, he was out there to start the third, and wouldn't you know it, he'd go on to score the overtime winner to boot. Of course he did.
Stitches, 1 tooth gone, so, oh, Jesus, got a face for radio right there. That ain't good.
Missing teeth and hockey players are synonymous. So, from Revo and Domi, Merry Christmas. Oh, sorry, boys. I'm just going to answer that real quick. Moving on, here is real footage of Sabres and Predators hockey.
Our story is the story of 2 guys who start at the bottom and with a lot of hard work continue along the bottom and finally end up at the bottom.
As the Sabres this week proved that even when they do score a goal, they cannot catch a break, as this one was overturned due to a missed penalty earlier in the sequence. It's not something you see every day, but rather than a tied game, it was now a double minor, which, of course it did, resulted in a 2-0 deficit. They literally cannot catch a break. So remember, no matter how things are getting for you, you can always beat Buffalo.
I'd rather be in this position than Buffalo, so you know what? It's not that bad.
Then, in this week of keeping up with the Canucks,
I don't know why people still trying to make up.
Listen, you guys, in a sense, the outer world have created this thing.
It hasn't been distracting you. Oh my God. Next question.
I can bring up PD and we can do the interview together if that would make you guys happy. I don't care. You guys want to talk about it? You want to ask me? Ask me all you want.
this team get where it needs to go.
Where do we want to go?
Baby.
Canadian media. This week, we also saw the return of Matt Rempe. Yeah, it went about as you'd expect. He would lay a nasty hit on Heiskanen. It's boarding, the elbow, you name it, as he got another game misconduct, which resulted in another sussy. In 22 games, he's had 11 games suspended. For every 2 games he's played, he's been suspended for 1. With 4 ejections, that's more than he has points, and to boot, he's got 95 penalty minutes. Impressive. In honor of that, how about we take a look at the nasty from this week, because we got our fair share.
5 minutes each for fighting.
In Dallas, it was Pacioretty nailing Bork, even popping the lid off with his stick. Over in Montreal, it was Samuelson rocking Doc, who didn't even touch the puck. We had Thompson in Buffalo sitting down Matthews, and after breaking his stick, decided to take out his frustrations on Turcotte in Philly, as the Flyers were even catching themselves with a little friendly fire. Heading back to Edmonton, it was Greer nailing Podkolzin, as, the Cats and the Oilers would go at it. We had another lid pop off in Vancouver from Miller on Lehkonen, and finally in Calgary, it was Pospisil crushing Nazar, which led to a scrum. But it wasn't over there. A little while later, it was Pospisil again with Bertuzzi in a headlock, so Bertuzzi gives a one-handed slash to Huberdeau, and you guessed it, things went off again. They'd both end up getting the boot, but on the way out, Uyghur wished Bertuzzi a Merry Christmas as he waved them goodbye. But if the look from Rossi here is any indication, it's time to lighten things up a bit. So let's move on with a round of quick ones. In Carolina, after beating the Islanders, Blake and Stormy were not on the same page. Stormy wanted to jump on his back, while Blake's like, chill, I just wanted to tell you what I want for Christmas. And so while Santa may see you when you're sleeping, so does Lou Lamoriello, as this was great.
Oh crap, it's Anthony Hopkins.
This week, he became the first Chinese-born player to sign to an NHL team. Keeping it in the family, the Joseph brothers had a fantastic photo shoot in St. Louis just in time for P.O. to get traded. Unfortunate. Something Marchman learned a lot about this week. First, he gets a cross-check, then the puck lands on his head before even his stick lets him down. A true series of unfortunate events. Something that the Capitals also learned a bit about. See, after taking an initial too-many-men penalty, which obviously Carberry wasn't too pleased about, it's Strome getting sent to the box. However, the Capitals did a good job and killed it off. But right when it expired, here, there's 5 guys on the ice. So Protas tries to dart off the ice, which he does, so that Strome could get out of the box down here, but it was another error, as immediately they were called with another too-many men. But no coach was more angry this week than Torts was. See, after ref Michael Markovic clearly puts his arm up here, Konechny would come out as the extra man, but he didn't see that Markovic had quickly put his arm down. So here the Flyers clearly have 6 guys. They have possession, but nothing gets called. The Red Wings would then get possession. They'd come all the way back down, and suddenly there is a penalty. It is too many men for the Flyers, and Torts was incensed. You put your fucking hand up. Yes, you did. Hathaway's like, is this even real life right now? To be fair, the officials huddled up and made sure to get this right as the too many men was called back.
There's no penalty on the play.
No penalties were given, but it was entertaining. And so was Slavkovsky's thoughts on the media.
What do you guys say? No. Well, I couldn't really care less. I only laugh because you lose another game, then everything is bad, so it's kind of funny.
Another good scrum moment this week came from Dylan Gunther, who, when asked about McBain's filthy lip caterpillar...
Yeah, that's a crazy duster. He's got a lot of luggage on that lip. But
this week, we also got a mini Teemu Selanne throwback in Anaheim, as this kid had the celly down. Then, after getting the OT winner in Calgary, Pasta stayed nice and hydrated as Frederick made sure of it. What was also good was after Barkov's OT winner in Sunrise, this guy showed his appreciation. But with that, how about we get to the goals? Kiefer Sherwood had himself a night, scoring all 3 Vancouver goals for the Natty Hattie, and the Canucks faithful were loving it. it was nice for Demko, too.
It's always nice when you meet a guy on the other side of it and you can cross him off
It
here. Do not have
is
friendship
always
with us,
good when the
But we had plenty
Vancouver
of noteworthy
Canucks
goals this week,
win
so let's
over
start
the
with Reinhardt in Edmonton.
Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche got their avalanche sorted out. But when the Canucks come to town, you'll see a mishap.
Who scored a beauty from well below the line. He fires this thing off of Skinner and in, and I mean, to even think of shooting here is wild. As Skinner, can't love that one. Then we had Celebrini again, just getting so comfortable out there. Here he moves to the middle and scored a beautiful no-look backhand goal through the wickets, as this kid is for real. And so are Crosby's superstitions. After a bit of a scoring drought as of late, he was called out.
How frustrating is it for you if you haven't been able to put one of those pucks in the net? Yeah, I mean, usually when I'm asked about it, that's usually when it starts to change, so thank you.
And of course he did. He went out there and had himself a 4-point night, of course, scoring a classic Sid goal to also break the drought with a little fire in him. And speaking of fire, Patrick freaking Laine has been on one, scoring a hattie of power play goals, as he has 8 power play goals in 9 games. When this is what the goalie sees, yeah, it's going to be tough. And rounding it out with the goalies, we had Fleury this week doing his best reverse Sean Avery on Rodriguez, which was pretty great. We had Ersson in Philly with, stay in your net. Yep. If there's one thing we've learned. Over in Carolina, we had Kochekov come out and stay in your... Oh, all right. I'll concede sometimes it works out. As the goalies did have some phenomenal stops this week. Starting it out, we had Elvis, who I don't even know how he was able to kick this one out. In Washington, it was Lindgren with maybe the save of the year. He goes old school windmill, cartwheel, whatever you want to call it. That was tasty. And what's crazy is he was throwing up in between periods. Then we had Aiden Hill at home show us he is ready for the Four Nations face-off with a great save. Bobrovsky in Edmonton had a classic Bob stop. He drops the stick to get across, as that was a bit of a trend this week. We had Kochekov just straight up launching his stick. I freaking love this dude. In Vancouver, it was Lankinen punching his stick towards the puck to make a stop. I mean, that's a new one. And as was this in Detroit, Montembeault able to stay completely still to get the whistle and save one with his neck. But guys, that's going to be about it for me. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to leave you with this.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And now it is time to spin that wheel. Time to spin. Woo! Islanders. The New York Islanders schedule.
Last Monday, the Islanders played the Sabres. The final score was 7-1 Sabres.
First time they're playing this year, they're going to lose to the Maple Leafs. They're going to lose to the Bruins. They're going to lose to the Golden Knights. They're going to lose to the Utah Hockey Club. They're going to win against the Senators. They're going to win against the Flyers because they're god-awful bad. They're going to win against the Sharks. Is that a hair or is that a crack in my phone? I think that's a crack. Alright, we're like right here. I think they're gonna beat the Blue Jackets. I think the Islanders are gonna come out on top. I think the Hurricanes are gonna win. I think the Avalanche are gonna win. I think the think the Islanders are going to win their third game against the Flyers. And then the next one's in it's February 1st, so I can't do that. And to the 1st of February, where we'll do this again, but probably not this team. And, bye.